All right, welcome guys. Welcome back everyone to Talk Football Live. We've got the ABC crew here. It's me, Ayo. I've got my boy Biodun and Charles with us, and we're looking at game week 32 of the English Premier League. Before we go ahead, please like, share, subscribe. Keep the love flowing. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate all the love that you guys give on our videos, and we love coming back every week to talk football with you guys. All right, going right into it. How you guys feeling?
Great.
Man,
Ready
feeling
for
great,
the
feeling great.
Premier League to end.
Wonderful week. Great results. Arsenal, Real Madrid. Been feeling excited. Still on cloud nine.
That's right.
Yeah, it's been a great week. A great week of football. Wonderful goals. Aston Villa, PSG. I mean, all those fixtures.
Great quarterfinals in the Champions League. Yeah, really good games.
Yeah. Hopefully
yeah.
the second legs can impress like the first legs have done so far.
I think for the Arsenal fixture, we want it just low key. We don't need it to impress.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want Madrid to stress us. Just let us. I mean,
Take your L and
You don't want
go.
to beat them like 3-0 also again.
No, there's no need for an embarrassment.
You want to be humble.
Yeah, we're very humble.
Did they want to play the second leg? I mean, I'm okay if they don't want to play.
I know, right? They can play a second team, like just accept defeats, maybe try and rest for La Liga. Yeah.
If they don't want another plate of rice, you know what I mean? They can let us know.
All right. Let's get into the fixtures. The league. I know Liverpool is stuttering a little bit at the moment, but with 7 games to go, it's probably just a matter of them closing it out. So let's take a look at the fixtures this weekend. Game start on Saturday. We have Man City kicking it off with Crystal Palace. We're just going to be doing predictions, and that's the first game of the weekend. City. I'm going to give this one to you, Charles. Starting off. All right, Man City's coming off against Crystal Palace. What are your thoughts?
I think Pep is back. Pep is back. City is back.
Back.
Yeah, back in front, still shaky at the back, but I think City got this covered. I also think now that we know it's confirmed that 5 English teams are going to be going into the Champions League, I think Pep is going to go harder than ever because there's a possibility he would only be able to clinch that 5th spot. I mean, he can still clinch the 4th spot, but it's not as clear cut. So I think from here on out, City is going to grind out results, and I expect them to definitely start with this one. I expect them to try this one.
Okay, so victory for Man City. What do you make of the results in the Manchester derby though? Because you said Pep is back. That was a draw.
The key phrase was the Manchester derby.
That was a boring draw.
Yeah, it was a boring game.
That's probably the most boring Manchester derby I've ever watched. I was falling asleep actually in the second half.
But it's a Manchester derby, as you said, and I also think the whole Pep is back statement is more geared towards the final result. I think Pep is going to make the Champions League. He's going to do whatever it takes to get a draw and get a victory here. Just scrap by. I think the defensive lapses are still there, so it's going to show in the game. And with the absence of the likes of Haaland, KDB, I don't know if he's in full form or if his mind is not on guy in the City because he has announced he's leaving.
He's leaving, yeah.
He's going to be all on Pep to find the most interested players, those who really want to give their all to the team and get the results out of them. Like the guys like Kusanov, Mamouche that are going to be there next season, they need to start proving themselves now. I think those are the guys he's probably going to start depending on to push City through. But yeah, okay. I think also, like I said, it's also Manchester United. But when it's a derby, emotions run wild. People they step up a little more than regular games. So that game aside, it was boring. They got 1 point out of it. I think from here on out, I think City they have something to prove basically. I can't imagine City not in Champions League next season, and I know they can't imagine it either. So,
all right. City win. Going on to the next one, Biodun. Brighton Leicester.
Yeah, but if you don't mind 5 seconds on Man City, Crystal Palace, man. Crystal Palace is not doing bad. Mateta is also back, and even before Mateta came back, they've been fighting so hard. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember Oliver Glasner, who is their manager. He's been sought out in Germany, I think by Frankfurt, right? They want him even before the end of the season. They've been talking about him, right? So there's a big news around him going over to Frankfurt. Next season. I don't know if he's going to accept it, but that's a good manager since they arrived. Crystal Palace, they've been challenging, right? For like top 10
European places. Yeah.
I don't know where they will end, but so far they are not doing bad. The point I'm going to make is that it's not going to be an easy game for Man City. Man City, I expect them to win, but it's not going to be that easy. Brighton, Leicester, bro. Do I need to talk about this? Can we go to the next one first? They disappointed us as we expected as well. So it's another loss, another blank.
So it's
loss because
10 games, 10 straight losses, no goals scored in 10 games in the English Premier League.
You know what's funny though? I was watching a sports review. I think it was on Sky Sport, and they talked about things that have happened since the last time Leicester City scored a goal till now. And one of the things they talked about is Saka was injured and Saka came back.
So that's all.
That's 4 months. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, just think about that one point alone.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. That's
what exactly? Because the way I see it, not winning the 10 games is not so.
It's terrible. That's terrible, but
not scoring.
What are you doing in the Premier League?
Even Southampton still scored against Spurs.
Yeah, not scoring is like.
Although they lost and they got relegated, Southampton still scored. They scored.
If they end the season, so I already made a joke last week, right? That I know they're going to score at some point before the season ends. But let's just say they end the season without scoring a single goal. Do they deserve an extra punishment? Worse than relegation?
I already said it. And you guys thought I was joking, right? I already said it. I don't even want to see them in the championship. They should be double relegated.
I mean, they won it last time
with a different manager.
So maybe we should start talking about what players are going to go with them to relegation battle, to like relegation.
The same players will go. These are championship level players. Sorry, no disrespect to anybody, but just based on what I've seen, I don't see anyone.
I mean, Vardy is loyal, right? So Vardy is definitely going to.
Vardy will go. I mean, they have Daka, they have El Kanous, Sumare, Christensen, Ndidi, James Justin, Conor Cody, Watfast. I'm sorry, but those are all championship players. And I think they were all there in the championship too.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I mean, but remember the
loyalty day.
Yeah.
You have gone.
Tillemans and Adibans. Those 3 left.
That's crazy. Yeah. All right. Not to spend too much time on that. It's just astonishing, really, how terrible of a record they have.
Yeah.
I'll take Forest Everton. I'm gonna go for another draw in this one. I'll say a 2-2 draw. Because
really?
I think both teams have very similar styles. David Moyes, this is David Moyes' kind of game. I don't think he will lose this kind of game.
Well,
I'm going to predict a draw for this one.
I mean, I see where you're coming from. I want to counter, but I'm like, you may have a point. Because
is Chris Wood back? I don't think Chris Wood is back either. He's the one who's been pulling out all kinds of magic.
He might be close to being back for this game.
He's a big reason. He's a big part of why they're out there, and he's unavailable at the moment.
Yeah.
Everton don't lose of late since David Moyes came back. I think that one loss was
Remember
that Liverpool.
They have 3 players injured.
For who? Forest?
Yeah, Forest. So it's not just Chris Wood, right?
Okay, who else is missing?
Because last weekend too, what's it called? Awoniyi too.
No, he's injured. Back.
And Olaino that
yes,
is key.
Olaino is actually a big miss as well.
The way they
I know it's a big miss. Right. Yes,
and that's key to the way they play.
Yep. That's true. So yeah, they're missing some big players. Okay, moving on to Southampton, Aston Villa. This one's for you, Charles.
This is one of those games that we don't even need to talk about.
Really?
Southampton, they're already confirmed relegated, right?
Really? Okay, that's why it's dangerous.
No, they're already confirmed relegated.
Yeah, they're relegated.
So it's not dangerous.
I know.
They're done. They have nothing to play for.
No, it's dangerous because
they have nothing to play for.
because they have nothing to play for. So it's like they can decide to spoil the party for you.
Well, the Villa have
I
some.
don't think so. I feel like it's teams who are still fighting against relegation that tend to spoil the party.
Spoil parties.
I think once it's confirmed,
They tend to, and they are also careful. Sometimes football, you enjoy the game when you play, with freedom, right?
Nothing
With
at
freedom,
stake.
with no stress,
yeah, that's
nothing
true.
is at
That's
stake.
true.
But
The manager
I
tells you
also
go out
think
there and enjoy your fun and sell yourself. This is when they start selling themselves to EPL teams
But I
for the
also
ones
think
that they
when
don't want
there's
to go
something
to
at
and
stake,
play in championship.
when there's something at stake, which is at stake for Villa, they step up. Villa is still trying to chase Europe, so I don't see Southampton getting any point from.
It comes to maturity. There's something at stake. It depends on the heart. So right now you're looking at the confidence level. Are they scared? Are they confident the way they play?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm definitely giving it to Villa.
We'll see.
Okay, so Villa win.
Yeah.
I expect a Villa win in this
as I
game as
expected,
well because Villa is still trying to stay in Europe.
It's going to be surprising.
All right, Arsenal, Brentford. Mr. Biodun. This one comes to you.
I don't want to take that. I don't like taking Arsenal.
But you have to at some point.
I give it. Charles,
I'm not taking it. You sure you want to do that?
You're not going to say anything palatable anyway.
Exactly.
It's not like you're going to say something good. So Brentford.
Yep.
Should be easy game, but I don't know. Arsenal is hard to predict when it comes to EPL.
The thing with Arsenal at the moment is I expect and hope Arteta rotates for this game. I would like to see some key players rested.
Yeah, but you have a Brentford team that is trying to get to Europe, and they need that 3
I agree. Yep, and I know Arteta in the back of his mind is
I-
still thinking there's a chance at the league until it's mathematically over. But what tells me is he finally has some part of his head screwed on better this season. Yeah, I'm sorry, no disrespect to him, because compared to what I've seen from other seasons, when we had Real Madrid this week, he actually rotated the squad against Everton last week, which is something he didn't do in past seasons. He would still have played the full team. Saka would have started that game against Everton in past seasons.
Yeah.
He actually rotated. So I'm hoping he's starting to wisen up, and he's, whether he trusts them or not, he's using the full squad. So I would expect someone like Trossard to start. I would expect Jorginho to start. I would expect Nwaneri to start. Sterling should definitely play because, Sterling. But Biodun, please give us your prediction.
Because sometimes I say what I really want. It's like I'm jinxing myself.
From your mouth to God's ears, I'll put that in place.
I hope and I pray for an Arsenal win. I pray for an Arsenal, even if it's a 0, even if it's a 1-0.
So your head is telling you, your heart is telling you a win. What is your head telling you?
Maybe a draw or a disappointing loss, because of that defense. In Mbeumo, Wissa, they're going to play with all seriousness, and you're going to have boys that are trying to, like, the Arsenal problem of there's a game before a serious game.
Mm-hmm.
They're not thinking about the immediate game. They're thinking about the next game, right? For example, the when the fixture came out that we're playing Real Madrid, we had West Ham. I'm like, guys, can you just stop and forget the draws that just came out? Let's just focus on West Ham. We went into the West Ham game, and the boys were just so lackluster, complacent, and they lost. So those are the kind of feelings that come to mind when I see things like this. Like, they just came out of a very good game against Real Madrid, and they are all focused on the second leg. Well, there's Brentford.
They better take care of Brentford.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, okay, my head is like, it might be a draw or it's a point and loss. But ideally, I mean, come on, guys, you just beat Madrid. Go there and
and show you that team.
Brentford.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Chelsea, Ipswich. I'll take this one. Charles, what do you think I should say?
You know what I want you to say. If I tell you what you say will happen, what would you say?
No, for real, Ayo, What is there that you cannot see? They lost to Ipswich
Relax,
first
that
leg.
was the first leg. That's history. That's the past.
No, I expect Chelsea to win this one.
Uh-huh.
Nicholas Jackson is back.
Not biased.
His boy Palmer will be behind him. I know I'm not picking Chelsea to finish in top 5. I think I already told you that, but I expect a win in this game.
Ayo.
What was Chelsea's last game?
Don't worry about that. Ayo. Let's focus. Let's focus on the statements you just made. You're not picking Chelsea to make top 5.
Chelsea had a 0-0 draw against Brentford.
Yeah. But why? Yeah. Why are you not picking Chelsea to make top 5?
Why? Because Newcastle will finish 4th and Man City will finish 5th. Do you need another reason or more explanation?
So you don't think Chelsea can finish 5th and Man City finish 4th and Newcastle 6th?
No, because Newcastle is actually level on points and they have a game in hand.
Has a better chance.
I know they have a game in hand. A game in hand is not a guaranteed 3 points. You can lose a game in hand.
Do you want to see Newcastle's run of fixtures?
I know.
Man United, then Crystal Palace, Villa.
By the way, I mean, maybe I'll take back what I said about City. Maybe City would end up in Europa. I mean, I guess the question I'm trying to ask you is this:
Newcastle has a tough fixture list, to be fair.
Are you saying you are sure Newcastle? I mean, Chelsea top 5?
Ooh, this is key. Have you noticed this game?
Yeah, I know. I've heard about that game. Yeah,
it might come down to this game. Yeah, May 10th.
So my question is this: are you saying
Newcastle actually has a tough run? Now that I look at it, they have a really tough run.
So you're gonna take that back?
No, because I don't want you guys to finish in top 5, so I stick with my word.
Yeah, like the time you
said.
I
know the reason I said that, because when I said it, you guys were second and being arrogant. Do you remember that?
I remember being second. I don't remember being arrogant.
And they told us they were coming behind us.
The chat history was there. Yeah, they were like, we're not even mates. Because remember, we're level of points.
Yeah, and you guys remember the chat group.
Hold on, Arsenal and Chelsea had the same number of points.
Yeah, I remember.
And Chelsea, I think, drew, and then Chelsea won, and they were like, "There's not even a separation." Do you remember that statement, Charles? Does that ring a bell?
I mean, I remember that period. I remember this statement. These accusations.
Okay, I'll rest my case. Anyway, back to the agenda. I expect Chelsea to win against Ipswich.
Thank you.
Chelsea's at home. It'll be a win. All right, Liverpool, West Ham. Over to you, Charles.
I expect the lab to score 2 goals. I expect Chelsea to score 1 goal. Whatever you call that.
You realize that was Ayo's prediction. We didn't ask for your opinion. That was Ayo's time. If we give you us now, you say you don't predict.
I said what I said.
You are predicting the one they didn't give. Anyways, Liverpool, West Ham. I expect Liverpool to bounce back from last week's loss.
Okay.
Would it be an easy win? I think there's something off in Liverpool. I think with the whole contract discussions going on with Salah, VVD, and the exit of Trent coming up, with the whole they've won the league, but they don't really won it yet. They just have to keep pushing to the final day, or to the win a certain number of games. I think there's an atmosphere in Liverpool that is just making them sluggish. And I've seen it before the 3-2 loss to Fulham. But I think this game they may bounce back in this game and then slump in the next, or slump in the next 2 games. But again, I think against West Ham, they have what it takes to win.
Do you think the news coming out that
win, but I think Liverpool get it.
It was announced yesterday that Salah's contract negotiations are going on, and contract deal is about to be finalized. Do you think that might bring some stability and help them refocus?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I think so. Yeah, okay. I think so.
You know what that is all about, though. That's all PR stuff to make sure that they don't derail completely. Like there's been I'm sure there's been some tough conversations in the room around, guys, what is going on? Are you going to bottle the Premiership? And some people have probably pointed to the fact that I think this contract thing is affecting these boys, and they're probably going to sabotage you if you're not careful. I mean, I don't know. I don't expect a professional player to behave like that. But could that be the reason? You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, we're going to have to, address the concern and let that media thing not get in our way of, winning the league. So maybe the deal is really finalized, or they just want to put out the news there to make this player feel good
Calm them
and
down.
play.
No, I think that's too high of a profile thing to give a false statement.
No. It's not going to be a false thing. It's going to be
Yeah.
addressed. I actually feel that it's not that nothing was never presented. I just feel like something was presented, but not up to what those players
But
wanted.
not what he wanted.
Yeah. Same for Van Dijk. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
I'm
they
a
are
big
trying to
fan
make
of-
the club change their policy on over 30-year-old players.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of
That's
know
what-
what you want, ask what you want. Especially if you know someone else will pick you up, I remember years ago when Rudiger wanted more money and Chelsea fans were like, oh, he's greedy. I'm like, no, he's not. He knows what he wants. He knows somebody else will pay. I mean, if you're offering me 100K and I know somebody else will pay 200, I'll ask, would you pay 200? If you say no, I'll move. It's just that simple. So
Yeah.
that's what Salah and the rest are doing. They
sending-
know Salah
sending the
knows
video-
Saudi.
I'm sending the video to
Saudi
your
will
manager.
be good, so they'll pay him triple whatever you're asking for. So he's just playing his hand, which that's how you do it in life.
All right, Liverpool win. Let's go on to Wolves against Spurs.
And I don't have to take that one.
Oh my god, tough one for Anje, but man, Anje has been fighting with everybody, and I don't. Again, English media, man, crazy. They after this guy. Wolves is
I
doing
mean,
very
you
well.
can't deny the fact that he's digging his own grave a little bit sometimes.
How
The things
do?
he
How do?
says.
To be honest, I would like to come to his defense. What is he doing that is wrong? What is Anje doing that is wrong?
I'll leave
Give
that
me
one.
examples. Give me 2 examples.
Forget. I don't recall some of, but I've heard some things he said in post match conferences, and I'm like, okay, sure, but as a manager, it's not the kind of thing you come out and say openly in front of the English media.
Ayo,
That's
we
where
all
I'm
know
coming
that
from.
this media that you're talking about,
Mhm.
I think they've put themselves in a place whereby they want to be the respected one and they don't want to respect the person sitting in front of the mic. It can be like
Part of the reason the English Premier League is so
Ateta
big.
has said crazy stuff. Ateta has said crazy
Mhm.
stuff, talking about the wrong football, talking about he had won trophies when he won trades. He has said crazy stuff, talking about hundreds of
And they shoot
formations
him for
in the
it.
game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
all managers say crazy stuff. The guy is free to defend himself, defend his team, and say whatever because they're
But
asking
the
him questions and
difference, but the difference is Ateta
they're
actually
not trying to make him look bad.
Ateta also wins though. He wins games. He has a record.
And that's the thing. So the problem Anje has is results. It's not the
Yeah.
media. The
Which
media
is the
So
most
when you're not
important.
having the results and then you're making comments, it makes you look.
exactly. So if you want to talk about that, then let's talk about that. It's like you're
Yeah.
fighting, or you're fighting. You're not standing on anything. You're standing on the shallow ground. That's the problem he has. He doesn't have results, then he's fighting.
Yeah.
So that's the point
that's the
we're
only
trying
thing
to
I
make
see.
too.
Yep.
Yeah. But
That's
you
the point.
can't fault him for saying what he said because other managers say it too. It's just that they have results to
I
back it up.
think if you're gonna talk, back it up with results. That's just how it should be.
That's one of the reasons I respect Mourinho, because Mourinho used to run his mouth a lot.
Yes.
But he also couldn't argue because he
Back
won.
it up. At the end of the day, if you're talking can't take you far. Results do take you far. So if you have results and you don't talk, or you have results and you talk, you're fine.
Yeah.
But if you're talking without results, that's the worst place to be.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
dangerous.
So
I mean, Spurs, where are they
who
now?
wins this game?
We haven't even gone that far.
I'll go with a draw. 2-2.
A draw. 2-2 draw. Okay.
Where are Spurs on the table right now?
They
Is it
are
even worth looking at?
14 or 15 because Man United
Or
holds that
16th?
number.
I think they're 16th
They
actually.
lost 13, and they are not releasing 13.
They are
Okay, they're
14th.
14th.
It's not the
Man United
lowest
has 13. They don't want to release 13.
in the last decade. In the last decade, I've Spurs and
It's just 2 points from they're 5 points away from Wolves. Like that's how close it is.
In the last decade, has Spurs ever been 14th?
No.
I don't recall the last time Tottenham was. I mean, not too long ago they were part of the Big Four.
Exactly. So that's the point. You are the lowest they've been in the last decade, and you talk so much. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. All right. 2-2 draw. Newcastle, Man U. Oh, is this one on me?
Who gets that one?
That's a good one.
Charles, you want to take it?
I will. I'll gladly take it.
Go for it. Go for it.
That's a good one.
Newcastle, Man U. That's going to be a good game. Another good game on Sunday.
I mean, it should be a good game.
This will be a good game. It won't be boring like this Manchester Derby.
Manchester Derby disappointed us last weekend, so hey.
Yep.
But Newcastle, their games have been interesting recently, so I don't expect this to be different. I usually say this is a Newcastle win, not because I want them to win, because of course they are competing with Chelsea for the table position, so I don't want them to win. But what Newcastle is doing right now is impressive, and I think they still have this joy that's coming back from winning the EFL. So I think Newcastle is going to take this. I also think Man U at the moment are like one step forward, 3 steps backwards. We're not really sure where they're going. Although when Man U turn up, they do turn up. So I mean, when Bruno turns up, Man U turns up. Let's put it that way. So it's kind of a shaky game, but I think Newcastle is going to win. If Man U really does step up as I expect them to, I think they may get close. Maybe make it a one game difference, 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, something like that. But at the end of the day, I think Newcastle will take the 3 points. But if a draw happens, I also won't be surprised. I'm just not going to predict a Man U win.
Charles stays hedging his bets.
Yeah, you got to play safe.
I think they will win, but I won't be surprised if they lose.
Newcastle will win. But if a draw happens, don't be surprised. If Man U wins, be very, very shocked.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay. At least it's not all 3 you gave us in that answer. So Newcastle will win, but a draw is very possible. All right, I'll take it. All right, and our last game of the weekend is Bournemouth Fulham. I'll let you have this one as well, Biodun.
Oh man, Andoni Raola, he needs the result. He needs to win this one. Bournemouth win. Yeah. I say Bournemouth win in this.
Okay.
Bournemouth, have they dropped form recently?
Well, Clivert has been injured. Yeah, they have dropped form. Clivert has been out, so I think that's a big reason for why they've been struggling.
So they're a one-man team, is what you're saying?
No, but he's a key part of how they attack. He's very unpredictable in their attack, right? He tends to find pockets of space, which unsettles defenses a lot. And he does the unpredictable. Like he'll try those shots from outside the box. He'll make a pass you're not expecting.
And you don't think
pop up in the box when you're not expecting
that in the team?
Semenyo, but I think
that's what I was waiting for you to
mention. Yeah, Semenyo, but I think when Semenyo plays, he has defensive responsibilities as well. So he doesn't have the free role that Clivert has. I think you can afford if you need at least one responsible player, and I don't know that they have someone else who can do both the attack and defensive work that Semenyo does. Right?
That's shaky. That's tough because as decent as a team as they've been, I think they have enough players to find someone to play that role. Yeah. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anyone, but they do have some decent players.
They do.
But hey, it is what it is, right? So, Biodun,
Evan Nelson is back. Evan Nelson is on form. So that's been, I think they drew their last game against West Ham, scored 2 goals, and I think he scored in the game before that as well.
Okay.
Little tip for EFPL folks if you're trying to find a striker for the weekend. And on that note, we'll wrap it up there. If you've stuck it out with us this far, thank you so much for joining in and staying with us and chatting with us. Please leave a comment. Let's continue the conversation in the chat. Looking forward to seeing you guys in game week 33.
33.
All right. Any final words? All right.
Go Chelsea.
No. Chelsea loses. Okay. Chelsea nil.
We can't hear you. Your mic is going off.
Bye, guys.
Don't worry.